Hey there, welcome to Hustle and Heart TV. I'm Darieth Chisolm. Do you ever dream of having a time-based freedom business, one that allows you and your family to travel the world and earn lots of money? Well, my next guest is doing just that. I know it sounds like a dream come true, but she's doing it and she's coaching others to do it as well. Her name is Stephanie Donegan, and she's gone from only having about 21 bucks in the bank to now enjoying a six-figure thriving coaching practice. For the last 4 years, she's coached other coaches, as well as other bloggers and accountants and authors to designing this lifestyle. As a business coach, Stephanie helps them craft what she calls a blueprint for success. And so if this is something you're dreaming about, let's dive in and get more from Stephanie Donegan. You're watching Hustle and Heart TV, a video podcast show that spotlights expert advice from top money earners, successful entrepreneurs, superstar network marketers, and leading authorities in business and marketing. I'm Darieth Chisolm. I'm inviting you into my home, and I'm bridging my own personal success as an entrepreneur, MLMer, news anchor, and now video podcast show host to help you leverage more tools and resources, make more money, and generate more ways to take action, become a rock star, and love your journey. All right, everyone, I am so excited to have Stephanie Donegan on our show this afternoon. Stephanie is absolutely incredible. She has this exuberant personality and energy that is contagious on a lot of different ways. And what's great about it is she's really helping other people live their best life. So, Stephanie, welcome to Hustle and Heart TV.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about your tagline. I love it. Every time you use it, I want to stay tuned to what it is that you have to say, and it really helps to epitomize your mission. So give it to us the way that you say it when you turn the video camera on.
Awesome. So I have to say the whole thing sort of work in my memory, but I'm Stephanie Donegan, and I am the client magnet specialist. I help entrepreneurs just like you create irresistibly juicy marketing strategies that attract your ideal high-paying clients.
That is a wonderful mouthful. I love it. You're saying a lot in it. First off, let's break it down. Let's break it down so you can tell us who you are and why you do what you do.
Yes. So I'm a client magnet specialist. The best way for people to hear that and understand it is probably a marketing coach. But don't you think marketing coach just sounds boring? It's just nothing interesting or magnetizing about it. What I really do is help people create brands that magnify their clients. It makes them become the magnet so that we're attracting everybody who needs us and our services.
And you talk about it in a way that I think is, as I said, attractive in and of itself. It's a long way to put yourself out there, but when you listen to it, you start to think, gee, if this woman can really do what it is that she says that she does, I need to contact her.
Yes. Well, it's really about being authentic and really, I'm not a boring person. I worked in corporate America for quite some time, and I felt like I was in this box. And so as I was creating this business, I knew that it needed to be something that my big, huge personality could shine in. And what better way than this tagline that uses words like irresistibly juicy? Who does that in business? And attraction. And we all can do it, and a huge part of that is authenticity, which is what I really teach, is how to be authentic in your marketing so that you can attract people who can really resonate with you and really see you eye to eye.
Where did this come from for you? You were in corporate America. You obviously got out there on your own. Why the need to do it, and where did it come from?
Well, I worked in sales and marketing, so I was kind of in the sales and marketing, but not the type that I'm in now. It was more of a pushy type sales place, and I was extremely unhappy in corporate America, extremely. Not saying nothing about those who choose to still be in it, but I had to find something to do to get out. And I ended up opening a brick and mortar, making and selling all natural hair care and skincare products, chemical-free products, because of course, what goes on your skin and scalp goes into your bloodstream. And we had had some health scares with my son, and so it was very important to me to put that out there. But more than anything, it was an escape route to leave my full-time job. And within a year, we crossed six figures, which for some people may say that's not much, but if you know anything about businesses and brick and mortars, that was huge, especially for a girl who really didn't know what she was doing. And what ended up happening was outlets like Fox Business and CNN and local ABC and NBC started reaching out to talk about the success of the business, which I found strange because it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. And with the media attention, though, came people asking me to speak. And the main question kept coming up was, how did you do it? How do you get clients? How do you get customers? Where do they come from? And I noticed this repeatedly. So for about a year, I held free, yes, absolutely free training calls every single Saturday, helping people get their business started, marketing it online, using their blogs, using social media. And it really lit me up. But the truth is, I had no idea that it was a business that it could be. I knew nothing about the expert industry. I knew nothing about coaching. When you said coach to me, I thought of sports, right? I knew nothing about any of those industries. And someone else came along and pointed out some key people in the online industry who were just killing it. And what was funny is I knew just as much as them. Like, they were not any smarter than I was, and I figured, I can do this and I can turn it into a business. And the truth was, my passion and purpose was not really the brick and mortar. It really was seeing the lives of these women who would show up on these calls change when they go out and they start their businesses, or when they start to market and they got new clients or new customers. And when they really started to see these shifts, it really lit me up. And, you know, I really believe that when you work from a place of being lit up, all good things can come to you.
And for you, that coaching, if you will, started, as you said, free. It was the testing ground for yourself, but it really allowed you to submit what you believed in and then start to get results for those clients. And I guess you didn't realize that that was the direction you were going in, but life just started leading you in that direction. When you work with your clients, though, and clearly if someone says, I'm going to hire a coach and I don't know where I'm going, how do they trust in that process? And how do you guarantee them results?
Well, you know what? You really can't guarantee results. And I know I hear a lot of people say, oh, I guarantee you that you'll XYZ. All I can guarantee you is if you follow the direction I give you, that you'll succeed. But I can't guarantee the results because I really can't guarantee that you're going to put forth the effort or that you're really coachable. See, everyone's not coachable. You meet a lot of people who want to succeed, yet they fight the coach. You come for information and they go against the grain. They don't want to do what's asked of them. So you really can't guarantee that you per se will succeed, but what I can guarantee is if you follow the steps, there's been enough success stories that there's no way you won't win. And how do they trust you? Really, this industry is not here. People talk about sales, sales, sales. This industry is not about selling. This industry is about relationship building and really connecting on a much deeper level than just coaching. So you'll notice when I'm signing people up for coaching and consulting, what I end up doing typically is what I call a decision-making session, which can last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And you would think that this is a session where all we talk about is business. But actually what I'm doing is getting to know you, your family, what's important to you, your beliefs, your desires, your goals, your fears. And when you're really digging deep into these things that people typically don't discuss, typically people become emotional and they begin to open up and trust you. And by the end of the call, there's some level of trust that has been built. And then you can move on and the relationship ends up beautiful.
Having beautiful relationships. Yep, that's what we all want in life, right? Not just personal, but as well in business. But do you really need a coach to help you do that? Stephanie says yes, no exceptions. We dive into that subject when we come back. Stay with us for more Hustle and Hard TV.
Trouble can find anyone. At Frank Walker Law, we take the time to understand your situation and work tirelessly on your behalf. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Every day, Fast Signs helps businesses with their visual communications. We ask the right questions, which makes your facility safe and more efficient. We recommend smart solutions, and people get where they're going. We bring new ideas and help you build your business. Fast Signs offers more than signs and graphics. We're innovators, planners, and designers, and we're more than ready to help. For more information or to request a consultation, visit fastsigns.com.
How important is it for people in business to have a success coach or a mentor or someone that can hold them accountable?
Well, I have to say, very important. I see myself being 90 with a coach. I think everyone, even a coach, needs a coach. Everyone needs that mentorship. Everyone needs that person who has already walked through the fire to blaze the way for them. Now, that's not to say you can't make it without a coach, but the success time will be really shortened by having someone who can help you and who can say, no, that's not the path to take, or this is how you should deal with this situation. Things that you would have no way of knowing, because especially if this isn't your industry. So I think that if really truly succeeding is important, if really truly shifting the lives of others and helping others is important, then investing in that coach is a top priority.
And you take a really interesting approach to this, at least from what I can tell, in that you're not only coaching individuals for their own personal success, but you're actually coaching the coaches.
Yes, because no one is there for the coaches. Like, you don't have a coach mentor per se, and coaching is something that I would have thought that just because I was doing it for free for the year, that everything would work perfectly. But so many things are changing, and so many people are coming into the industry at such a fast rate. I want to say coaching and technology are the top two fastest growing industries right now. They're growing at such a pace that you barely can keep up with it. Things are changing. New laws are being passed about what you can say, what promises you can give, and there's no one to tell you. It's no one to say, hey, how do you present an offer? I'm seeing so many coaches coming, and they haven't asked me to coach them, so I typically kind of mind my own business, but I can clearly see the offers, and I see them on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram, and I'm thinking, you're leading with what you want. So as coaches, typically people who come into coaching, we come into coaching for our own selfish reasons typically. And so when we write programs and we promote that way, as in what we think our clients need to hear. So I'll give you a good example. Even though my goal is to help you become irresistibly juicy, a huge part of that is mindset. A huge part of that is wealth consciousness and a lot of training, and I'm really big on that. But I actually don't lead with that. I lead with becoming irresistibly juicy. Why? Because most people don't answer the call of, do you have a screwed up mindset? If so, call me. Most people don't think their mindset is completely gone. They think it's great, and they think that it's just those actionable steps. But the truth is, more than not, people can do the right steps, but they're over here in fear, and they're over here in doubt, and they're over here really saying, what if I fail, and what if this happens, and what if that happens, and it's blocking them from the success they need. And I recognize that. So my job as a coach is to say, what is it that you really need? And I know it's mindset, but what is it that you want? And what you want is to attract more clients so you can make more money. So I speak to my prospective clients once while sneaking in their needs on the back end, because that's really my job.
You bring up a couple things, and let me rehash and step back a second. How do you become irresistibly juicy? How does one do that?
Well, a huge part of becoming irresistibly juicy is to find your place in the world. Like, more often than not, people are attempting to live in other people's shoes. They see another person in the industry who they feel are doing it right or doing it big, and they want to emulate that. But often you're emulating something because of the success you see, but that may not be the space that you need to be in or the way you need to be in it. So the first part about being irresistibly juicy is being true to who you are, your calling, and your passion. So getting aligned in the right place, and then being really aligned with who you're called to serve on a deeper level. Just because I'm a business coach, I don't serve everyone. Like I have specific people that I work with, but that's my juicy place. So not only discovering what you should be doing and the way you should be doing, but who is it that you serve? Once you discover that, you can be authentically you. There's some people who are so turned away by my tagline. I remember I went to a conference in February and I was introducing myself and giving my tagline. And this man, he was like, just wanted to tell you that I would never come to you because your tagline is so unprofessional. I said, wow. I said, well, I appreciate that. I said, but let me just tell you, you're not my ideal client. So I'm okay with that. You're not who I would want to work with. I said, but just to let you know, I just talked to your wife a few moments ago, and she's talking about signing up with me.
There you go.
That was the truth. We kind of laughed about it, but he wasn't my ideal client. His wife was, and I speak to my ideal client, but I couldn't do that if I didn't find that perfect place for me, if I didn't know who the perfect person was for me to work with.
Interesting, because we're talking about knowing yourself and knowing your niche. And when you can find that intersection, it allows you to serve at a greater level, but also be happy with who it is that you're serving and what it is that you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I'm a big, huge person who talks about don't work with people you don't like. Which always sounds funny, but I'm very picky about who I work with. So remember I talked about the discovery session, like the get to know you decision making session. It's also a time for me to talk to this person and find out, do they fit my criteria? I have a whole criteria sheet of who I want to work with. And the questions I ask specifically link up to, depending on their answers, can they be checked off this list? And if they can't, then we won't be a good fit, because you probably won't like my personality, that I'm like, hey, get it done kind of person. I'm not really soft and I'm not laid back. I'm like, hey, we're creating success. We don't have time for passiveness. And so there has to be a certain personality type. And so I have this whole checklist I go through, because if I don't like you, this won't work.
Well, you've got a clear set of parameters that you follow whenever you're deciding whether or not you're going to work with a client. How do clients find good coaches, though? You talked earlier about this industry really growing at a rapid rate, but maybe, how do you make the determination that this person is credible, that while we understand no one can guarantee results, that at least I'm going to get some results, because that's the reason why you're paying the coach. And how do you find the right person, and how can you look up their credentials and be confident that you're with a credible coach?
Well, the first thing I definitely would say is ask for referrals, or on their sales page and their website, look for testimonials, and the testimonials should have like a link to someone's website or their name. And with social media, we can look up anyone. Go out and really look for referrals. I guess there's no way you can guarantee it on a high level, guarantee it, but there are some things that you can look for. So number one, the first thing I would do is ensure that this person has been able to do what they're teaching you how to do. There's a lot of people out there teaching you how to have a successful business who's never had a successful business, which always baffles me on how you teach that. But there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people who teach client attraction who's never actually had a business that they've needed to attract clients to. It's very important that you know how this person has gotten to where they are, which is why it's so important to tell your story, to be open with your story on how you've gotten to the position you're in. Also is in that decision-making session, also let it be like an interview process for your coach. Make sure that you resonate with that person. Make sure you're asking the right questions. How would they respond in certain situations? So I had somebody ask me before, what would happen if I gave them an assignment and say 2-3 months go by and they didn't do it? My response is, if I continuously ask you to do something related to your business and you just choose not to do it, then I'll release you from my program. I have no qualms about it. Bye. I will completely release you. So some people can deal with that. Some people can't. So it's really knowing what is it that you want in a coach. Like how I have my list of parameters of what I want in a client. Have your list of parameters of what do you want in the person you're working with. So one big thing that I'm hearing a lot of, which is wonderful since it fits me perfectly, is people wanting a coach who is walking their talk, who's really showcasing that what they're teaching is what they're living. So I teach about living a lifestyle of freedom. And so, sure, at the end of this month, I'm heading off to Italy for 3 months. Then I'm going to the south of France. Then I'm going to Greece. And then I'm going to Bali. I'm going to do a full year of travel with my 7-year-old son and my nanny. And so I walk my talk. And so all you really have to do is sit back and watch that coach. And if they're serious, they'll walk their talk. You'll see it. You'll see their tribe supporting them. You'll see the testimonials. You'll know it. It's when you have those questions in the back of your mind, like, is she the right one, that you maybe need to step back from, because you should not have questions. I feel great in knowing that the people that work with me, if they questioned it, it was just for a moment. And I have one person right now who she's doing amazing. And when she questioned it, she actually reached out to me to say, hey, I'm having some doubts. Can we talk? Sure. And I connected her with some other clients that I have and who just put her mind at ease. That was a long answer, but I hope I answered it.
You certainly did. For someone, let's speak to people who may be watching or listening who are thinking about coaching, who for them feel that is a calling for them and they want to get started. Give us some practicals and first steps that they should be taking.
Well, the first step is really to research the industry, to find out who's out there, what they're doing, specifically around what it is that what you want to do. What most coaches, the first thing that they go do is say, I need to go to school to be a coach. That's actually, and I've done another interview where I really talked about, I don't think school for coaching is necessary, because so many people are going to school to be coaches, yet they're still not. They don't have the experience to really coach. So if there's an industry or something you want to do, what I suggest is reach out to 2 or 3 people as like volunteer subjects, where you can kind of test them for free. They're not having to pay you anything. Kind of like what I did for the year unknowingly. Test, make sure that your methods are working. Make sure that your methods really help uplift that person and really get the desired outcome, because you never really want to take anybody's money and you don't know what you're doing. You just don't want to do that. I would also suggest that don't just go into coaching because it's the fastest growing industry or because of the amount of money you can make. Go in it because you really want to change lives, because it looks easy, but it's a lot of work that goes into being a coach. I always tell people at the end of a coaching day, I'm exhausted, because as a coach, I'm not detached emotionally. I am really here. I am pouring my all. I'm using my intuition. And this is what we do in the coaching industry. So it's not just as easy as it seems. So really make sure you know that this is what you want to do, and research.
So by now, you know just how juicy, as that's what Stephanie calls it, juicy her life is, and her coaching style. And I find it quite interesting as well. She also shares with us how she leverages some tools and strategies to help balance her life. She's going to tell us more about that. And this concept of something called non-negotiables, having them and living with them. Do you have non-negotiables? Do you even know what they are? We're going to explore that topic when we come back. If you're not showing up online in videos promoting your business, product, or service, you are truly missing out. I'm Darieth Chisolm, and I'm here to tell you video marketing is huge. YouTube is one of the largest search engines, and people turn up there by the seconds looking for how-to videos, advice, products, and services. And there are so many ways to make money with online videos. Video podcast, online video courses and products, a YouTube channel, video blogs, live events, webinars, telesummits, Google Hangouts, and more. Not to mention you increase brand awareness, build authority, and increase loyalty. I know, but right now you're probably thinking, there's no way I can show up online making videos and marketing them. Yes, you can, and I'm here to help. Sign up for my newsletter and get instant access to tools, resources, advice, and information. Plus, you'll get my free checklist and 5 things to do before you hit the record button. And you can get all of this information and more at my website at howtomakemoneywithvideos.com. Let's talk about a day in your life. I can imagine that if you're talking with several clients throughout the day and you're really pouring into them, when it's over, you probably sit back and go, whew, I get to do it again tomorrow. But what does a day in your life look like?
Well, now I think that I kind of have it a little bit more under control. At one point, it was completely out of hand. I'm a single mother of a 7-year-old, and so I was really attempting to balance pouring in to clients and then getting done and immediately pouring into my son, which I have to say that I felt like I was lacking something as a mother because I didn't have the energy remaining at the end of the day. Most people don't admit that. I don't hide it. I didn't have the energy. So what I started doing was choosing a day or two a week to just fill my day up with clients. And typically that's Mondays and Tuesdays for me. Mondays and Tuesdays are long days for me. Tuesdays are very long days for me, like 8 to 9 hours. Monday, maybe 4 hours. Those are my client work days. And those are the days that I'm really pouring energy there. And so, yes, I'm exhausted when I'm done. I'll take breaks in between and hang out with my baby. My nanny will be here and helping out with him while I'm working. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are my creative days and my family days. And so it's not as much taken away from me on those days, but Mondays and Tuesdays, absolutely exhausted. So what it looks like for me typically, I'm naturally a late riser, and so starting to get up earlier and seeing clients, I wake up about 45 minutes before time for my first session, maybe grab an egg and a cup of coffee, head down to the office, and literally I allow 15 minutes in between each client to take notes and then move on to the next. And it's like that the entire day. It may be a couple of interviews. It may be a couple of masterminds, because I have a coach and I participate in masterminds too. So continuing education does not stop just because, you know, you're here. And so all of those are infused into my Mondays and Tuesdays.
Now, you've got this wonderful travel schedule that you're getting ready to embark on, and you're taking your son and your nanny, and this is going to be just an incredible year. How are you going to balance your clients and family and all the other things that you need to do in this next year of travel?
Yes, so I've thought about this over and over and over again.
I'm sure you have.
Yes. And I just plain don't know. So this is what I'm thinking. My thought process is, because my clients are set up in morning here in the States, that is the evening in Europe. It goes from early afternoon to evening. And so the morning time to early afternoon would be spent with my son. And then when he's getting ready to wind down is when I'll start working on Mondays and Tuesdays. But also, I've grown my team, and I've just recently hired a business manager who is hiring the rest of my team to handle booking my discovery calls, make sure emails are followed up on, making sure interviews and calls are scheduled, making sure that payments are received on time and set up, just making sure the business is handled. So all I should have to do over the next year is take care of my clients.
Smart approach to it, and I'm sure that you'll find a way to balance and work through it as you find your way through it. Okay, you are quoted as saying you need to create non-negotiables.
Yes. Yes.
Do you say that with
non-negotiables? Like, I'm so serious about these non-negotiables in life and in business. So a non-negotiable, which, let me say, they sound a little diva-ish, and I'm okay with them sounding diva-ish, but they're non-negotiables that I've learned through the years I have to have in place. So a non-negotiable for me is having that assistant there. Like, I have to have an assistant. Like, there's no way I'm doing all this work alone again, because I don't have to. Like, non-negotiable. Non-negotiable, I only fly first class. I no longer want to squeeze into this tight little seat and cannot let my seat back. And I might be flying off to go do a speaking engagement. And then you get there and you're exhausted and you're sore and you really need a massage, when I can sit in the front, give me a nice little glass of red wine and let my seat back and really enjoy. And so I think that you have to decide what's important to you in your life. I could have said a long time ago, I can do something else with the money that I'm paying a coach. I could have said that. And I'm sure I can find something else to do with it. You know, help I have around the house, I could do something else with that money. But there were non-negotiables for me. So what happens when there's a non-negotiable? Is paying your rent a non-negotiable? Is paying your light bill non-negotiable? I'm sure it is. So what happens is you make sure the money is there for that. That's what happened when I decided to up level and get a coach, or when I decided to fly first class or have a nanny. It was a non-negotiable, which means just like I pay my rent, just like I pay water bill, light bill, phone bill, internet, all these things, they fall in line as being just as important. So that means the money has to show up for it. I make provision so that the money can show up and give me those things. I can't say that when I first hired a coach, I could have afforded one. People always say I can't afford a coach. Well, yeah, that's kind of why you need one, because you can't afford one. That's why you need one, someone to help you get to the place where you can make more money. So you have to just decide this is a non-negotiable. So when I first hired my coach, I let go of my cable. All I had was internet. I was down to the bare necessities. I went down to the smallest phone bill I could possibly get. I cut back on some travel because it was important to me to up level. It was very important to me to move to a different place in my business. So I always ask, it's not whether you can afford it or not, it's can you afford not to have it? And so I can't afford not to have these non-negotiables. I just can't.
And, I love the description that you use, because oftentimes rent and lights and food are non-negotiable, and you're going to find a way to get it done. The question is, if you're serious about growing your business and growing yourself, would you invest that same amount of money or time or energy to see it grow and move forward? And I would assume as a coach, helping people to get to that place is really important, because that may be just the element that they're missing to continue to grow.
Yes, definitely. And oftentimes it is. Sometimes just having that person to see something you can't see. What's hilarious is I can't tell you my coach tells me anything that I don't tell my clients. I recognize this. But also, a lot of times I can't see that I need to implement it because I'm in the inside of it. So when she tells me, it's like, right, I knew that. So I need that kick in the pants sometime to say, this is what you need to do. Go ahead and implement this now, or to see it in a different way that it wasn't seen before. You mind if I give you an example really quick?
Sure.
So I just had a situation happen within a group coaching program that I had been saying that I really didn't want to do group coaching anymore. Where I show up best and I enjoy working is one-on-one, very high end and one-on-one, so that we can really up level as fast as possible. And I had been saying this for months, and then things just kind of started to fall apart with the group program. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And it wasn't until, and I was like having a meltdown, it wasn't until I approached her to explain it to her, and she was like, but isn't this what you asked for? You said you were sick of the group program. You really wanted to only work one-on-one. So this is what you need to do, Stephanie. Go to your group, the remaining group members, tell them that you no longer work in a group format, that you only work high-end one-on-one. Those you want to continue work with, invite them back at that high level and let the other ones go. And there was some fear there. And I know that's what I would have told my clients, but I never would have told myself to let clients go because I didn't enjoy working. I never would have told myself that. It just seems silly. But when she told me, I had to trust her and trust that that was going to work out. What ended up happening was I did exactly what she said. I went back, and half of them left, more than half of them left. But because the ones that stayed switched over to high-level coaching, I then began to bring in more for that coaching program than I did with all the group members, just by inviting them back. Now, that was something that, again, I would have suggested to my clients, but I couldn't look at that situation and see that. I was too involved. I was too hurt. It was too many emotions there. So having that person on the outside to help do that, she helped increase my revenue about $30,000 in July, which was amazing. A coach. So, I don't see not having one ever.
Well, and you having one is living what it is that you're, projecting. You're talking about teaching coaches to coach, and a coach without a coach telling other coaches to have one is not really a coach, I guess.
Exactly. And one thing that I used to say all the time was, how can you expect other people to invest in you when you won't invest in you?
You hear it all the time. Invest in yourself. Invest in your business. It is a sound, solid principle and something that everyone should be doing. But Stephanie also talks about investing in what she calls intensive trainings, where you have the opportunity to come and work one-on-one with her and work squarely on your brand and the direction of your business. Would that be something you'd be interested in doing? Finding a coach that you can work one-on-one with? Stephanie talks about the importance of doing that and how you can continue to grow your business when you focus squarely on investing on yourself and your brand and your business. And by the way, we'd love to ask you to please write a review about this show. If you're enjoying it, we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, do us a favor, write a review, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. That would make us smile and we would appreciate it. We've got more Hustle and Hard TV for you straight ahead.
Hello, my name is Sam Deep. The content of the Sam Deep Leadership Academy has helped major corporations develop emerging leaders from their staff of high potential employees for many years. So why would you be interested? Because the Academy will convince your internal departments to stop competing and start collaborating. It will create dramatic improvement in the quality of the service given to your customers. And it will equip you to find new ways to grow your bottom line. Your managers will find more time to focus on strategic goals. They'll more fully engage their followers and hold them strictly accountable for results. Your employees will gain something too. The leaders that they deserve, and a rebirthed and more positive company culture that will unleash their productivity. More information appears here at developingyourleaders.com. So don't wait. Take advantage now of this opportunity to create better leaders for a brighter future.
I do something called a VIP one-day intensive, where a person can fly out and they spend the entire day with me and we get their business in order. And when they leave, they're situated to have high-end clients and start making money within 7 days. It always makes people nervous, though, because it is a high investment, but it never fails. Less than 7 days, people always have made their money back plus some. Never fails. But why? Because they took the time and made the decision to invest in themselves. And energetically, you put that out, and people then come to you who's willing to invest in themselves.
So your VIP intensive days are pretty interesting, but you're also offering this for people to actually come overseas and spend some time in Europe when you're there.
Yes. So, of course, I love travel, and because of the way I market and I'm very authentic, I attract people who enjoy the things that I enjoy. But often they make excuses as to why they can't do it. Well, me offering these international VIP intensives gives them the excuse to travel, to leave home, to leave the kids and the husband at home, come up level in their business and have a rocking good time with me, getting their business together, just an amazing time in luxurious locations. Because after all, that's what I'm helping women entrepreneurs do, create the revenue so that they can live an up level life, live whatever the desired life is, whether the desired life is to travel for a year, or if it's to stay at home and be in a nesting phase where you're furnishing your home and taking care of family, to really be able to live whatever that life is that you desire.
We've talked a little bit about, and we have 4 principles on our show, and one of them is leadership. We've talked about lifestyle, leveraging, and certainly about loving your journey. And of all of those things, what do you most resonate with?
Loving your journey. If you don't love where you are, wherever it is in the journey, you can't get the next best thing. You just can't. It won't come. I'm really big on gratitude, which really connects with loving your journey. And you have to be grateful for exactly what it is you have, whether it's 2 clients or 20 clients. Because if you're not grateful for these 2, the 20 won't come. If you're not grateful for your trip to the next city or to Disney World, you cannot expect the London to come. Be grateful for those small things that you get.
And I'm going to squeeze a little bit more out of you. We always end our shows with 2 tips. One of them is a hustle tip in terms of encouraging people to hustle, stay on their grind, stay focused. And the other is a heart tip, loving your journey, loving what it is that you do. So share with us both a hustle and a heart tip.
Let's see. Thinking. So a hustle tip is really to never stop hustling. What I see in this industry is we get clients and we have a good month, and then the next month you kind of, you sit back and relax. There is no relaxing. This business is fast growing and somebody's always there to step up into where you are. It never stops. It's always a hustle, 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 getting out there, being seen, high visibility. That means webinars. That means podcasts. That means video challenges, teleseminars, being out there, being seen, live events, hustle all the time to stay in the forefront of your desired ideal audience. And for heart, loving what you do is for you really to create the business around what you love to do, basically. For me, again, it was travel. And so how amazing is it that I love travel? And I can say that I'm about to travel the world and have intensives in every country I visit. I absolutely love what I do because I set it up to be a part of what I love. So discover what it is you love and figure out how to intertwine that into your business. And every day will be a day that you wake up and you are just full of gratitude for the life that you can live. I still can't believe I get paid to do what I was doing for free.
And you know, they say that if you can do what you do for free and get paid for it, that means you really, really love what it is that you're doing. So, and it shows. It definitely does. Stephanie, thank you so much for being on Hustle and Heart TV. We've run out of time, but you have been an extremely juicy guest, and I certainly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
What a juicy interview with this woman. I love using that word. It's funny how she uses it constantly and describes herself as that. And now you understand why. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hustle and Heart TV. If you want more information about Stephanie Donegan and her services, you can visit our webpage at hustleandhearttv.com. Get the show notes as well as links out to Stephanie's website and her resources. We've got more for you straight ahead.
Bad things happen to good people. Accidents, serious injuries, or even death. When they do, families call Frank Walker Law, where we fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Hard-hitting representation when you need it the most. A real law firm getting real results.
Hey, this is Ray Higdon, and just in a few short years, I went from personal foreclosure to earning over $1 million a year. I look forward to showing you how in the next episode of Hustle and Heart TV.